In Section 1 of the Trump Time Travel Series 2024 update, we've identified the technology that will be used in support of the Rapture event and presented the public testing of that technology.
In parts 4 and 5, we explained how resonant sound wave technology will be used to render those in the mid-frequency range invisible, and how ion beams will be used to transform those temporarily invisible bodies into superconductors.
As explained, a 5D ion avalanche will be created by injecting an accelerated ion beam into the upper atmosphere to form an arc reflector made of dense plasma.
The equipment required to create these reflectors is the final addition to our list of last Trump technology. The results of the 2018 Operation Blue Skies test demonstrated the reach and magnitude of one ion avalanche, so that the number of arc reflectors needed worldwide for the Rapture event could be determined. Here in Part 6, we'll explore how a simultaneous injection of accelerated ion beams could be executed on demand, instantaneously on a worldwide scale.
Because actinium is the only element that glows in the dark with an aqua blue light, we knew heavy metal actinium beams had been used to create the avalanche ionization effect for Operation Blue Skies. And so we sought to find existing technology and equipment that specializes in producing and controlling ionized beams derived from heavy metal elements.
We also understood that only a specialized heavy ion beam accelerator can do this. So our task became to determine the number and location of these sites worldwide.
Our search took days, and it eventually became clear that only a small percentage of Collider facility sites actually have a heavy ion beam accelerator.
The most well-known collider site on Earth is CERN, which happens to be one of the sites with a heavy ion beam accelerator.
The name of CERN's ion accelerator is ALICE, which led me back to reread the 17 posts that mention ALICE. In particular, this rather enigmatic intel drop. Q equals ALICE. Q is code for the 17 team. ALICE is code for ALICE. ALICE is an acronym for a Large Ion Collider Experiment. Wait a minute, is this post referring to an ion experiment? It was this post that sparked an extremely plausible idea for a worldwide source of instantaneous, simultaneous, accelerated heavy ion beams. Here's how it could work.
Based on the belief that the 17 operation is being led and implemented by top intelligent operatives within our loyal military, and knowing the grand scope of providing a worldwide source for heavy ion beams, it was an easy dot to connect that our military would have to be involved.
Especially when you understand that every aspect of the plan to save the world must go off without a hitch.
Exactly. Those leaving will only get this one chance to be rescued out of the insufferable corruption of this deeply infiltrated system. And it follows that it will take an expertly coordinated effort by a sizable team of well-trained, highly organized operatives.
2018, the CERN facility announced it was shutting down for 2 years for a major upgrade.
As with the 2017 to 2019 tech tests, publicly available comms were being dropped by the 17 team to confirm their involvement in CERN's 2018 shutdown. In order to receive the comm, we had to know the date of the Blue Skies op, and we had to understand the connection between Blue Skies and the CERN shutdown. When we noticed that December 10, 2018 is exactly 17 days prior to Operation Blue Skies on December 27, 2018, we knew it was a confirmation comm from the 17 team that they were indeed involved in both events. We also knew that the connection between the two events was actinium, the element used to ionize the sky. So, is there a heavy ion facility near Queens, New York, where the Operation Blue Skies test was run? In fact, there are 2 heavy ion facilities on Long Island, one in Stony Brook and one in Upton.
We took this as a solid confirmation that our idea to identify all heavy ion facilities was on track. Now, back to this seriously cryptic drop. Q equals Alice. What could be meant by stating that the 17 team is Alice?
Indeed. How could the 17 team be synonymous with a large ion collider experiment?
The answer was found in the publicly reported CERN shutdown announcements. Here's the logic. If the military is covertly involved in providing heavy ion beams for the Rapture event, they would require a believable cover to take over the command of the entire CERN facility, and an upgrade shutdown met that requirement.
They would also need ample time to implement the training of specialized beam teams, and to then insert them into the employee workforce of every heavy ion accelerator facility on Earth. A 2-year time frame easily met that requirement.
The military could then use CERN's Alice facility as its command control center for a worldwide network of beam teams tasked with generating an instantaneous, simultaneous 5D ion avalanche that covers the entire Earth.
We mentioned earlier that the number of heavy ion beam accelerators is small compared to other types. This was concerning because our final tally was on the short side.
Here are all the heavy ion facilities we were able to conclusively identify.
In all, we identified only 20 facilities worldwide. After plotting their locations on a world map, a pattern emerged showing that coverage for each of the hemispheres, northern and southern, was plausible, but just barely.
Then we realized that an ion avalanche spreads out exponentially as it gains speed, just as a snow avalanche does, and the result is a heavily ionized sky. Then I remembered this quote from Tesla about his ionization experiments.
Ionization of the upper atmosphere transforms the sky into as good a conductor of electricity as a metal. In other words, when these worldwide beam teams are simultaneously activated, the coverage they achieve locally will use the sky as a conductor to rapidly expand ionization to all four corners of the Earth.
Knowing all this, we felt confident to conclude that full coverage of Earth was plausible and possible in this scenario. And this is how the 17 team can be synonymous with Alice, because they'll be orchestrating a large ion experiment.
Military beam teams are the final link in the technologically generated chain of events that will take place during the most important event in human history.
'Tis marvelously exciting to see how it could all go down. The only thing missing now is divine providence and intervention. And that's what will be covered in Section 2.